let's get going. Let's start recording.
Let's go!
Suck dick.
Or let's
This
just
is
play
crazy.
Call of Cthulhu instead, Kieran.
Nah, I'm
All
a
right, yeah,
cute.
we
Now,
could do that.
dick sucking.
Anyway,
The GM, he's got a star.
so welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. This is our Christmas special, and as it's Christmas and we wanted to do something really special, we've got a black screen instead of Johnny.
Yeah, he's gone.
You could do something else.
I wasn't going to go a more racist angle there.
Whoa.
And at least me and Askew have gotten into the festive spirit of it, while Carlo and
I
Kieran.
don't have a Christmas hat.
I don't think I would.
Everyone can have a Christmas hat. Just make one. Just put something on your head.
Look, I've got Dolan on my head. You can see my basketball.
No, Johnny was supposed to join us, and about in the last 3 minutes, he's just told us he's gone out for the evening instead, so that's good. So we're going to run
salt shaker.
I'm sharing with the audience what's going on. So we're going to do a one-shot Christmas special, although this will broadcast just after Christmas, since this is Christmas week right now, and we're broadcasting the Star Wars specials at the moment. For people waiting for the ending of the Grey Dragon Island Assault, that will
It's
come.
not coming!
Yeah, we'll just delete the rest of those episodes. So they'll be on from January. I mean, the first week in January, I suspect.
That's suspenseful. Wait.
So are viewers still waiting for the ending, the last bit of the assault?
Yeah, basically, they got left as you guys planning the assault. Like you're in the volcano and you're planning out what you're going to do, and
It's
then
fucking epic.
and then instead it cuts to Star Wars versus Star Wars.
Unlucky.
You just gotta hold on to your butt.
But yeah, they'll get the ending to the Grey Dragon Island Assault in the start of January, and then hopefully we can actually record a new episode so we don't run out, because we're nearly run out.
We're like teetering on the edge. We're like
Yeah.
an episode ahead of the YouTube channel.
We went from having like an entire year of backlog to having like 2 episodes of backlog at this
Catching up
point.
rapidly.
So we'll see. Hopefully, we can get some recordings done in January to make sure we have a bit of a backlog again. So tonight, though, we're doing another Call of Cthulhu one shot with the sort of, I don't know. In my head, I refer to them as the original Adventure Bastards. The team the last adventure we did for Halloween, it was set 10 years earlier. This one's set about 3 years after that. And obviously, for the purposes of our story,
So I have my health back if it's 3 years later.
yeah, it's 3 years later. You'll get your health back. Don't worry. No, you haven't spent 3 years going, oh, this
Dying.
dodgy knee. No, so yeah, it's 3 years later. So things have moved on, and you've had to slowly. Oh, wait a minute! I've just realised Askew's name's wrong on screen. Oh no, it's correct. It's correct. Yeah. So yeah,
They don't know, though.
no, they
Well,
whatever.
Kieran and Carlo don't.
I can't see.
Anyway, so my point is, 3 years ago, you lost your good friend Emilio Tarek
The vampire.
as he carelessly walked through a gateway and just dropped dead.
As you do.
But it's fine because Russell's war boot saved the day.
War boots.
No,
Oh,
what?
yes.
Yeah, what? I don't forgot. I just remember Johnny annihilating everything with a shotgun.
And me running in with like a million armor.
Oh, that was good, yeah.
Running up the stairs.
So yeah, we're going to follow that team a few years later. So as initially, we're just gonna have Carlo and Kieran. Askew's character will be joining
Mateo
us.
and Russell.
I know. I was just.
Ew, that was it.
Yeah, and Askew will be joining us shortly. Once his
Character's ready.
fucking hell, calm down.
Once his
I've
powers
still
have
got your
risen.
name. I've still got your name as the Star Wars one. I need to remove that.
We don't know who I'm going to be. Maybe it is the Star Wars one coming in.
Fucking question mark.
Oh,
Here we go.
God.
Bam.
Sorry, what?
Flying in on the Falcon.
It's the what you call it.
The
Adamantium.
Adamantine Claymore.
What?
That's
The
the name of the
It's the
ship.
Star Wars one.
Oh,
Your memory is terrible, Perry.
I-
You
it's
forgot
my-
what the pendant was for. You forgot the name of our ship.
the problem is, like, I have to remember so much material for the adventure that we're doing tonight. I always forget everything that happened
Just
immediately in the
like
previous
takes
one.
this bit out and then puts a new one in.
Yeah, but also because I do the girls' show as well, so I'm just like I've got like memories of the last 2 adventures I'm running, or the ones I'm about to run tonight, but not the last one we recorded or anything from a while ago. Certainly not the various amount of books Carlo's characters picked up that we've all forgotten about.
I want my spells. I want them next time.
Anyway, I mean, this is slightly off topic, but also if you remember in Shanghai, you also stole some valuable books, not magic books.
Oh yeah, I nabbed those books, didn't I?
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight, you guys are doing an adventure called Christmas in Kingsport.
In what?
Kingsport.
Kingsport. Okay.
Oh, if it'd been New York, it would have been the best.
Oh, I'll just throw this away. We'll just do New York then instead. Anyway, so yeah, Christmas in Kingsport. As things start out, you guys, Matteo and Russell, are hanging around together for the Christmas period.
Best buds.
Yeah, Pretorius has gone off on his holidays, doing his Pretorius things.
He was supposed to meet us. We're waiting for him. Waiting at the crossroads. When's he getting here?
Pretorius never showed up as
Too
planned.
late now. That cunt.
So instead, you two are taking a train to Kingsport for Matteo's family Christmas. You're going to Matteo's heading to his great aunt Norma's house in Kingsport.
Aren't I from Spain?
But your great aunt Norma doesn't live in
Oh,
Spain.
she came with
She
us.
may be
yeah.
married into the family.
She's been living in Kingsport for many years.
That's why I came over.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Obviously.
or just simply put, she's the nearest relative whose family, whose Christmas you could join.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know. I'm sure Kieran has justification why Russell can't make it to his own family Christmas.
Because I'm not going to fucking Australia.
If you are really Australian, well, that's yet to be proven.
Like, you don't believe anything about our characters. You ask us to write backstories, and you're like, nah. I don't believe
It was only specifically that Halloween one
Don't
where it
have a
felt.
war boomerang, I have a shoe.
Yeah, it was just because you kept missing with the war boomerang.
And then it wouldn't come back.
You were so sure that thing was going to be badass.
And it just wasn't.
Yeah, that's not at all.
I'm going to prove it this episode.
Yeah.
Fucking war boomerang, mate.
Anyway, so you guys take a train. It's the morning of Christmas Eve, and you guys are taking a train across Arkham County. Sitting quietly in the southeast corner of Arkham County lies the unassuming town of Kingsport. Your train pulls into the station on the morning of Christmas Eve to find a town covered in a thick layer of snow. People are going about their business in the streets, but it's far less busy than the streets of Boston and New York that you've become accustomed to. There's an air of excitement surrounding Christmas, and perhaps more importantly, the town's Christmas festival is advertised prominently everywhere you look. It seems like many of the travellers on the train have come specifically for that festival. And as you get off the train, you are met by a young woman that Matteo will recognise as his cousin Melba. And she comes over and gives you a big hug.
Melba!
Matteo! Merry Christmas!
Merry
Sounded
Christmas!
like some gangster hood boy.
Matteo!
Yo, what up?
Wait, what was her name?
Melba does the handshake.
No.
What was it? What was her name?
Melba.
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 Yeah,
Melba.
Melba.
Melba. Like Melba toast.
What the fuck's Melba?
Yeah,
toast?
Melba toast.
Yeah,
Or peach
Melba toast.
Okay.
She
You
made-
don't know Melba toast?
She made it, yeah.
I have no
It's
idea.
Thank
Family
you.
fortune right there.
Yeah. So Melba comes to greet you and says, "Oh, Matteo, it's been far too long. I'm so glad you're joining us here. Have you been to Kingsport before?"
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes?
She says,
And I was very young before I moved back to Spain.
Because that seems inconsistent, but never mind.
You seem inconsistent.
She says, "Yes, I've been living here with Aunt Norma for since the accident, and you'll know by this she's referring to the death of her parents a couple of years back. You guys were involved in the adventure at the time because her parents got involved in some creepy shit.
So if it's only a couple of years back, it's after that last adventure that we filmed, all right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. How time
I'll
works.
admit I haven't completely mapped out the timeline of the original.
You're ruining my immersion, Perrin.
Call me the keeper. Anyway, so he says, "Yeah, I've been living with Aunt Norma here in Kingsport. It's such a wonderful town, especially around Christmas. You guys are gonna love it. Do you want to come? Do you want to come back and unload your stuff at the house before you? I mean, because you have to see the festival."
Yeah, that'd be great. Absolutely great.
All right. So she takes you guys in a taxi across town to Great Aunt Norma's mansion. Is located prominently in the middle of Plum Street on the west side of Kingsport.
This is the Melba Toast Mansion, fortune.
Although it's technically a mansion, it's actually quite a modest building compared to some of the haunted mansions you've explored in your time. But it's extravagant for Kingsport, for this area.
Okay, cool.
As you go inside, you're greeted by your great Aunt Norma. She gives you sort of a suspicious glare. She can be friendly, but she's got a bit of a gruff exterior.
Norma,
So-
come on. It's been years. Can't we forget this?
She says, "I don't want any funny business from you this time."
There was no funny business last time.
There's always
Norma,
funny
you know
business
that.
with you, especially with your friends. What's your name? I don't remember it, but I know you're trouble as well.
Yeah,
Russell.
you know me.
This is Russell. You remember Russell?
You guys are always trouble. Anyway,
Well, there's one less of us
You're
now.
remembering the wrong
what
guy.
happened? What happened to Pretorius?
We won't. Oh, Pretorius. Oh
Actually,
no,
you remember
he's just late. We've left him behind.
I
He
told
was
you
the
he.
troublemaker. He's not here.
You
He's
forgot
trouble-
about
Do you
this
not
is
know?
bad.
Emilio.
Yes.
Just no,
Don't you
I
know
was
me?
I was I was very sad to hear about Emilio, but he always seemed like he was up to no good.
And he
He
definitely
He's
was.
was. He
I mean,
always was.
Always like hanging around on the roof, like
that's how we were-
flapping his cape
Hanging
around.
upside down to the wardrobes.
I told him not to sleep in the basement.
He doesn't like light. It's the darkest place. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's bringing up bad memories.
No ghostly voice of Emilio about this.
It's okay. I come from a too.
I'm upset. I thought she liked me.
She says, "Well, says that aside, I'm happy to have you here for Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year." And sorry, I don't know. I laughed at that.
The Manson cough.
But she says, and I knew Melba would be happy to see you. She seems to have made friends here in Kingsport, but it's nice to have some family here with her over Christmas. And she says, so go enjoy the festival, but make sure you're back for the evening meal. Oh, and she says, hold on a second, your Uncle Wally will be here tonight as well too.
Uncle Wally.
Oh, Uncle Wally. I know Russell likes him, but fucking hell. Not Uncle Wally.
He's a good boy. He's a bit dim, but he's a good boy.
If he gets in my face, I'll drop that motherfucker.
Just language.
Sorry.
Horrible.
I'll drop
What's wrong
that dumb
with Walter?
weirdo.
What's wrong with Walter? He's dim.
Wally.
What's Kieran got?
Furry Kieran?
Tentacle.
Fur man.
What is that? Oh, it's a cat.
That's his own tail. Oh.
Anyway, so he says, Melba says, yes, you should just dump your stuff. Let's go to the festival. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, what kind of festival is it?
Christmas festival.
Who said that?
Yeah, a voice from the distant.
Mansion keeps speaking. Christmas.
It's like someone in a Muppets movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you. Norma says it's been strange. You just keep hearing this voice saying "hype" from the mansion.
Hi. There it goes again.
Right. Okay. Let's head to. Let me get my jacket back on. Then I thought we were gonna have at least a minute to sit down and have a
You
cup
can
of
have.
tea.
You can have a.
off we go.
We can have a cup of tea if you like. You can
Back
have.
at the door.
I just walk out.
Walk in, just 180 and leave again.
Yeah. Barely put my bag. Walk in.
So, essentially, I'm trying to sort of rush through the introduction so we can
Yeah,
get
that's
Askew's
fine,
character
that's
into it. So anyway, the town's entire central square and some of the surrounding streets have been taken over by a huge Christmas fair. Central to the whole thing is a tall tree decorated with baubles and lights, and all around are various wooden cabins housing games, food, drink, all sorts of locally made items for sale. You know the kind of deal, kind of like
Yeah.
yeah.
Christmas.
Christmas
It's
market.
Christmas.
like Melba sort of running around like from store
Like
to store.
toast.
Sorry. Stop saying it. I don't even know what Melba toast is. Are you saying
Are you
it?
from Melbourne, Australia?
I'm
Russell.
not sure.
Melba, Australia.
Yeah, Melbourne.
I
You
don't-
sound like
I
where
don't-
I'm from.
Didn't write down specifically where I am in Australia.
Okay.
But yeah, Melba's sort of going around speaking to the speaking to people because she's like, she seems to be very well liked in the area. Hold on a sec.
That's me, girl.
She sees like an old man sort of like with a walking stick goes past and says, "Oh, Melba, good to see you again." He says, "Who are your friends?" She sort of introduces Matea and Russell. He says, and he asks her, "Are they travellers?" And Melba says, "No, not yet. No, not yet. I'm fairly
Not
certain."
yet?
Yeah, not yet. That's what she says. And he says, "Oh, not yet." He says, "But don't worry." She says, "Don't worry. I'm gonna bring them to the party later."
You're damn right.
Russell's hyped. Russell's in his element.
Someone said party.
So yeah, there's kind of like there's lots of things at the fair. There's food stands, drink. You can even try playing ring toss to win a teddy bear if you want.
Damn right. I've
Do
got phone
it.
skill.
Oh, we're playing ring toss.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
But yeah, there's a teddy bear that Melba looks like she'd appreciate. So
I've got throwing skill as well. Let's go.
it's $1 to play, and you need to get 3 hard rolls in a row to win.
Hard rolls.
Yeah, so not
In
normal.
a row.
$1.
I said-
That's
Day and
expensive.
Wait, how
That
many
is
times does $1 give me? 3.
No. So you pay $1, and then you throw 3 rings, and if you get all 3 rings, you win the teddy bear.
And I have to get
Fucking
hard
hell.
rolls on them all.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
and what's your stats? I might be more generous. Depends what your stats are like.
I got 60 throws, so a hard is 30.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you do a normal throw. I'll tell you if you get the hard ones, you'll get a bigger teddy bear.
Okay. Can go with that.
But take $1 out, and then you're gonna take it in turns.
I'll go for the easier one. Russell can go
got
first.
15 grand, like $1,500 even. Do you fucking just give the guy $1,500? Like, throw all the rings.
He says, "No, I take my job very seriously." Well,
Are you trying to give him the grand? He's like, no.
He says, like, "No, I'll be here all night while you're throwing them."
For a grand.
Right, you going first, and I going first.
You're going first, mate.
I'm first, right? I'll just do roll 3d3. That works, right?
Good luck.
D3.
What?
D100 even.
Yeah.
Nerds.
I could
Oh,
actually spend 2 luck points and get that one to 30.
wow. So
Do it.
Well, I do it.
you're gonna spend your luck.
Do it!
Yeah, why not? It's only 2.
All right. So Russell steps up with his years of adventure
yeah.
bastering experience and just like
Boomeranging skills.
yeah.
These shoeies taught me the way.
And they all land perfectly on these. Well, actually, 2 of them land absolutely perfectly. The last one sort of spins around as if it's about to go either way,
goes-
and then and it just
baby.
drops in, and the old man manning the store says, "Wow, beginner's luck," and gives you like this massive teddy bear.
Right, I step up. Here we go.
Go on.
I get 2 of the easy ones and fail 1 then.
So yeah, you don't win anything. He says, fair, we're not all cut out for these things, eh?"
One more. Damn it!
And yeah, so you decide to step up for a second go. 2, one just misses, one misses quite wildly, and then one just goes off into the crowd, and he looks at you.
One more.
Wait, Mateo, you should calm down.
Third time's I've got a gambling problem. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Double
Make him do a forfeit if you can't do it this time.
He says, "This is your last time. I can't afford to lose the rings."
You
And
do
yeah,
this?
no.
one of them lands.
You've got to do a shot.
One of them lands on the thing, and the guy says, "Oh well, better luck next time. Hey, your friend here already won the big prize for your lovely lady friend. So why not just enjoy the festivities and not worry about this?"
Who says I'm giving it to her?
That's my cousin.
Just saying, I didn't say that.
Melba's looking at you like, what?
She's not even asked for it.
Hang on,
She
Melba's,
wants this.
Melba's sort of like looking at you like,
Oh, no,
How old is she?
this is my yeah.
she's 19.
How old?
Am I like giving this to a kid? Or am I giving this to an adult?
She's 19.
Alright,
fine.
okay. She's like a kid. Here you go.
Ah!
I got my eye on you, Russell.
I'm like double her age, you remember?
Oh, how old are you? Like,
37.
all
Fall
right.
in love with a
If
vampire.
this is fucking 3 years later, I'm like 40 now.
Oh shit, I'm
Just write that down.
Oh god, how much older am I? Oh,
Me
no.
and her would have like a Twilight
45,
story.
man. Ugh.
45.
I'm
You
40.
know, guys,
Creepy old dudes.
Oh, playing ringtone. You
Yeah.
fucker. All the 45-year-old audiences now, you've
I
just
know. We're
alienated.
creepy. Huh?
I'm not like a creepy old dude.
What are you then?
I'm like, I guess,
A
I'm
cool old dude.
yeah,
Fast
I'm
uncle.
like this. That's what I'm like.
Oh god.
Anyway, so carrying on. So Melba points you over towards a huge campfire with like benches seated all around it, like tiered seating, and like there's tons of people from the town sort of sitting around this bonfire, and at the front there's sort of a stage, and different members of the town are going up and telling stories, and it's kind of like a Kingsport tradition for people to go up and tell stories to the local people. And she was halfway towards suggesting you guys tell them some of your adventuring stories, and then she points up and says, "Look, it's Uncle Wally over there."
Points up.
No, points out. No.
Oh, right. It's a
Lying down.
Look up.
He's
She-
actually a
Uncle
badass.
Wally is Santa? What the
And Uncle Wally's sort of standing by the side of the stage as a woman goes up to speak. So do you guys?
I'm Uncle Wally.
No, you're not Uncle
Damn,
Wally.
Hi guys, Wally.
And-
He's a bit dim, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so over on the stage, a woman, sort of a middle-aged woman, steps over to the stage and starts telling, and she with like a sort of European Germanic accent. She begins sort of telling a short tale to people that says, she says, "Back in my home country, we celebrate Christmas much the same as you do. The good St. Nicholas comes on the evenings of Christmas Eve to bring presents to all the good boys and girls who've brought joy and happiness to the rows around them." He says, "But for those who have not, the naughty boys and girls who've been bad, they don't get a lump of coal back home. Instead, they must face Krampus." Krampus.
Oh,
You hear a voice whispering in the background. "Ah."
What's Krampus?
Krampus is a foul beast, half man, half
I
goat.
shout in the audience. What's Krampus?
She says, "I'll field that one." She says, "Krampus is a foul beast, half man, half goat, covered in dirty brown hair with a long pointy tail and razor-sharp horns and cloven hooves." Says, if you're on the naughty list, you better hide as best you can, because if Krampus finds you, he'll snatch you and every other wicked child he can find, and he'll drag you in his sack away, never to be seen again, so that him and the other Krampus can have a feast on naughty children for the year, so they can hibernate until next year for their next.
I'm Krampus.
You got, like, every character gets introduced asking, I'm Krampus.
Anyway, that's all the story, and she sort of said, and the people in the crowd sort of clap and children
Awkward
scream.
clap or
Everyone's kind of like, no, everyone. The thing is, it's kind of a general a sense of frivolity. Like, people aren't all telling like amazing anecdotes, but it's kind of a thing where people from the town are encouraged to go up there and just tell stories and stuff.
I'm clapping
I'd shout,
slowly.
"Then what happened?"
Slowly.
When they're finished. Then what happened?
Suspiciously.
You hear a voice in the wind saying, "Then what happens?" Anyway, so after that, the woman goes up and goes over to Wally and kisses him. And they come over and sort of Melba shouts for them to come over and join you. Mel was like, "Who's this Wally?" And
Who's this, Wally?
who's this Wally?
Who's this daffy?
And he says, "Oh, it's good to see you, Mateo and Russell, was it? I think we only met once."
Hey!
I give him a firm handshake.
Says, "Yes, Mateo. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's good to see you. I'm glad you came to the to see us this Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Wally. Merry Christmas.
I hope
Do
you."
you not trust Wally?
This
It doesn't sound like you trust your uncle.
I don't fucking know. I'm 45 years old. You know.
What? I'm 45 years old. Just
I'm
survived everything.
jaded.
And you're jaded, are you?
Got 10 sanity left.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
You're an adventure bastard. You know, you can handle Wally.
All right, give him a
Oh,
hug.
you
Come
can
on,
handle
Wally, you
Wally.
daffy.
And he says, "Oh well, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? This is Gretchen. This is my new wife." And Melba.
What, the old one?
He says, "I didn't think you'd bring that up. That's quite tragic." So I would really rather not talk about that.
Sure thing, mate.
And he says, "This is Gretchen. I met her in Austria. We fell in love instantly, and I'm kind of a bit nervous because Norma or nobody in the family knew we'd been married. But I'm going to bring her back. I'm bringing her back tonight, and I'm hoping everything will be fine."
Good luck with that. That sounds like an interesting evening for you.
He says, but yes, I look forward to seeing you at the meal later, and maybe we can talk more. And I'd love to hear more about your adventures.
Certainly. Certainly.
And with that, Wally and Gretchen leave.
We're left with Melba toast.
You're left with Melba.
The little tagalog, little
Start calling her toast.
rapscallion.
And then basically from here on out, it's really kind of the rest of the day. The rest of the day sort of passes with you guys wandering around the festival, kind of just doing festival-y things, getting drunk,
Getting drunk, yeah. Eating strudel.
eating strudel, until you guys are ready to go back for the evening meal, which is nearly where we start. The introduction's a bit
I go
longer.
back to the ring toss game.
The guy says no. You've had enough. You've had enough.
Wow, just one more hit.
So do you want to take the break now, or do you need a little bit longer?
Well, I'll just wait for Emily to phone me, really.
All right. Okay. We'll go. We'll run till then. There's gonna be very soon. There's gonna be a reasonable breaking point when things actually start happening.
No, it's not like I'll have to go instantly as soon as she phones me. Just like within a short time period after she phones me, I'll need to go and get her.
Okay. Well, we'll continue for a little longer because hopefully we'll get to the natural break point anyway. Right. So you guys head back to the house. Hasn't been actually. This has been very much me telling you what happens at this point, but this is kind of the way it's written. So you guys get back to the unless you guys want to do anything in town, you guys are free to piss
Well, I
about.
want to play the ring toss game, but you won't let me.
I mean, there's other games. There's like
All right.
Shooting thing?
there's a shooting gallery, yeah.
Oh, shooting gallery. Let's go. Come on. Right. What's the game?
Right.
I'll roll up.
Let's see. What's your skills, Carlo? Let me have a look. Looking at your revolver skills, I'll have to be generous here, and you just need to say, or actually, no, Lee Enfield makes more sense for a shooting gallery. Shoot 3 targets, and get hot. And again, it's like you'll get a small prize for regular hits, and you'll get if you can get 3 hard hits, you'll get a better prize.
Right. Okay. I'm ready.
Take $1 out of your thing.
Cha-ching.
Gotta go. If I can go back through here now, get to my money. There we go. Took $1 out.
Money.
Do. Ah, so close.
So
One
close.
was a ultra hit.
Yeah, so you step up to the shooting gallery, you get a really hard proper hit on the first one. The next one, the thing shatters, you hit it so hard, and then your last bullet just sort of flies off into the back.
And
Oh,
kills.
right, into the crowd.
Well, they're not real bullets. It's like cork gun.
People screaming.
Yeah, like. It says, the woman manning the store says, "Better luck next time, sir. Better luck next time."
Damn it.
Says, I guess you don't play games very often.
Never. Never, in fact. No.
Says, but he says, don't be disheartened. Shooting isn't for everyone. If I were you, I'd maybe get some, some shooting lessons before you find yourself in any trouble.
Thank you. How very thoughtful.
Says, but maybe your friends here, they look or your friend here, he looks more sturdy. I'm sure he can look after you.
Oh, go on then, Russell.
Give it a
Go
go.
on
Give it a
then.
go.
You win another fucking teddy, I'm leaving.
Fucking, I'll give it a go. I've got no gun skills, so I'll be doing it off base stats. So I'm gonna do it anyway. What is the base stat for rifles?
No.
I think it's like rifles 25, so you need to get under 325.
Here we go,
It's gonna
right?
be
Take
embarrassing.
a dollar out. Wait a minute. Give me a dollar.
A
Right.
Oh, please. Please, no.
Oh.
Ha!
She says,
Sorry, Annie.
as all three of them like fly off, and she goes, "Oh, well, maybe not. I guess maybe I'm hoping it's that you guys have had maybe a little too much
This is
eggnog."
a left-handed gun, mate. Can't...
So that's what we use here. We don't throw shoes around here.
Man, I'm out.
Right. Let's head
Take
off.
my money and leave.
Let's roll the D20 to see how many beers we have.
Oh God, do that. Do you? That's your D&D thing, isn't it? God, how many mulled wines or eggnogs did you have?
Oh,
Let's,
D20.
yeah, let's do it that way.
11.
You're already back. You're lit.
Oh.
He's an Aussie.
So you two old men are sort of stumbling down the street, and Melba's sort of trying to guide you to.
Eggnog down my shit.
No, that would have been if you had 20. Like, but not that bad.
Not quite dripping yet.
Yeah.
Fucking whoa.
You certainly spilled some down you though.
Walking back, telling him how much I love him. Come on, Russell, let's go. Let's go home. I'm gonna make cheese on fucking toast, and it's gonna be mint on milk toast. Boom!
She's your cousin.
She's walking behind us, completely sober. Like
She's trying to make sure you two don't get into any trouble on the way back. As she's walking back, people are sort of are greeting her and wishing her Merry Christmas, asking her if she's all right. She's like, no, they're fine. They're good friends. And you hear as you sort of leave.
She won me that teddy, so like it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah,
holding the teddy.
she's carrying the big teddy, and she says, "Oh no, actually she was." Until one of you drunkenly has grabbed it and has given it a name and is like hugging it.
oh,
What's it
dib's not
called?
me. Dib's not
Emilio.
me.
Emilio.
Dib's not me.
Call it toasty.
There you go. So Russell's like hugging the teddy bear. As you leave the fairground, there's an old sort of fortune-telling woman in one of the booths, and she says, and she just you sort of drunkenly half overhear her asking Melba asking the woman, will you be performing later? And the fortune teller says, what, at your house? And Melba nods, and she says, and the fortune teller says, I'd love to. I never miss one of the White Maiden's parties. And they sort of hug and depart and sort of separate from each other.
Russell, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
And I guess you two are too drunk to really take.
Wait. Toasty, what do you think?
And the teddy bear whispers back. Amelia, you can be the teddy bear for a second if you want.
I don't know. That's a teddy voice. Give us a kiss. What kind of teddy am I? Like a big,
Russell's
A
mind.
big one.
a big one of what? Like a bear?
It's a
or...
bear. That's what a teddy bear is.
Oh, just a classic war. I thought maybe it'd been like a minion, like a giant minion or something like that. You know.
It's
Oh, this is the
1920.
What are the 1920s?
Giant minion.
Yeah, it's Mickey Mouse.
What's Ted?
It's like a Bart Simpson doll. I don't know.
My shorts.
Yeah, it's a BB-8 doll. Anyway.
Oh, awesome.
Right. So you guys get back into the house, and as you sort of stumble through the door, Norma says, "What the hell is this?"
This is toasty.
She says you're supposed to be looking after Melba, not getting wasted.
Melba's fine. Melba's had a great time, didn't you, Melba?
She sort of she says, "Oh, they've been fine. They haven't caused any trouble."
See, Melba's on our side.
Norma says, "Well, you guys better sober up for the meal. You've got I think we got you wouldn't believe what that idiot.
Right.
Sorry, what?
It's like- and then just go like,
What? He's just talking over everyone. What is he doing?
Just slap himself.
I heard loads of shouting, and then he just slapped himself. No idea what he said.
That goes with the drunk persona, right?
Did you have 11 malt wines? Been sneaking past.
Right.
Okay.
So he says, yes, he says, well, you guys better sober up for the meal. You wouldn't believe what that idiot Wally's gone and done.
Oh,
What has he done?
what has he done now?
He's gone and married some European woman.
What's wrong with Europe? I'm European.
Said, it's a good point. That doesn't fit the story. He says, well, if he was going to
Just say damn German or something.
I guess I'm not being racist.
Damn European.
She was Austrian.
Yeah, she's Austrian anyway.
Oh.
Ow.
Still.
Anyway, she says he could have at least spoken to me about it.
Well played.
He says I'm very, very, very disappointed in him. He says, I mean, who knows what her family history is like? Are they respectable? We have no idea.
Are you respected?
Well, what Wally does, you know? He's a wild beast. You can't tame him.
Is Wally like Norma's ex-husband or something?
No. He's like nephew, I guess.
So, Uncle Wally.
She's
he's an
great
uncle.
aunt Norma.
Oh, it's great Aunt Norma. Okay.
Yeah. Said the voice from the house.
Mm. Is he your uncle?
So you sit down to a relative. Actually, the dining room is a table spread with a generous meal for the whole family. Many of the typical Christmas dishes are present, but it's not so generous as to be wasteful. Great Aunt Norma's a frugal woman.
I was really set on that cheese on toast, but this'll do.
So yeah, there's like turkey and gravy, stuffing, all that kind of stuff. And it's there's a meal, and there's kind of like a tension in the air because Norma's being like kind of like abrupt with Gretchen.
Poor Gretchen.
Gretchen's trying to get to know you guys. So, your cousin says great things about you, Matteo. He says you and your friends are great adventurers. I understand.
You could put it that way. We get up to a lot.
Could you share a story of things?
Oh, I'd love to. How long have we got?
Until Emmy needs to get lifted.
Let me tell you the completely.
Oh, that's right now, I think.
All right. And so
it fades away to the
fades away. So we just imagine in the break, Mateo's telling a long and elaborate story.
completely made up, mind.
Which one is it? Which one are you going to tell her?
I'm going to tell the story of the beast in the mansion.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's made up.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So it was the girl in white all along.
Ah.
I love that story, me.
What does the weird voice in the house think of the story?
He's telling lies. It was the girl in blue. That's a Christmas. I should be doing a Christmas voice. How would it be different? It was a girl in blue.
Yeah. Anyway, so after everyone, Aunt Norma's like, I don't approve of the antics you gentlemen get up to. There's no wonder your friend, well, you know.
Who, Norma? Who?
We get
There's
paid
the
for it,
house.
though.
Sorry.
We get paid for it, though.
Well,
It's a job.
Oh, he says, I hope you're going to be sharing that generosity this Christmas with the family.
Oh, when you get off the high horse about our job, maybe.
It says, she says, well, you know, I put up a lot in this house. I put it with you, sort of troublemakers coming here and causing chaos. I put it with
Invited us.
and I put it with Wally and his foreign
hussy.
His foreign hussy, yeah.
Is this going on with her present?
Yeah, she's there. She looked very
Oh.
embarrassed.
Poor
Gretchen looks very embarrassed.
Gretchen.
She
How
said,
old is she?
sorry?
How old is she and how old is Wally?
Probably about, they're probably both around their 30s.
Okay. So they're younger than us. That's what
A little bit younger than you guys, yeah. So anyway, Gretchen apologised. She says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause any upset." Says I do understand that me and Wally had been very impetuous, but it's just we just couldn't keep ourselves apart. Once as soon as we met, we knew we were meant for each other. Says my father was very much the same. He's very much disapproved of me marrying an American, and he's pretty much disowned me since I came here.
That's a shame.
Yeah, he's a man called Gunter von Kohl.
I don't know him.
You don't know him.
Villain.
But he's a very well-respected man in his back home, and he said it was a big shock to him when I married without his permission, and he was very upset with me over it. Says, but I couldn't have been happy, especially since I mean we've only been here in Kingsport a few days at the guest house, but this felt like a second home to me already. I mean, so I hope you'll welcome me into your family.
I like to think that there's like only like four or five of us on this massive table.
Anyway, so yeah, you kind of just have an awkward Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas meal really, because it's only Christmas Eve, but you kind of have this awkward meal, and that's kind of it for the night really. I don't think. I mean, there's not much going on, but before like everyone's kind of like tired after the meal because it's been a busy day. You've been out at the fair all day. You're all a bit exhausted. You've had a big meal, so you've got that kind of food coma thing going on. Eventually Melba just says try and get some sleep, guys. But there's something important I have to show you tonight. Something especially for you guys. So night falls on Kingsport. Not a creature is stirring, not even a mouse, all that kind of thing. So the night falls. You guys sort of put up in a sort of one of the spare rooms. As I say, the house isn't immense, but it is big enough that there's a spare room for you two to sleep in.
Nothing was stirring, not even a mouse. Oh,
Yeah.
do we hear like the faint jingles of the Coca-Cola trucks?
Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming. But you do kind of wake to the noise of like of jingling and
Melba!
and you two like a few hours later you guys wake up to the sort of noise of jingling and faint noise of singing and this kind of sort of an ethereal kind of noise that you can't really quite identify.
Hark the
Like it's in our head, but or like we can't really tell where it's coming from.
You can't really tell where it's coming from, and this is kind of where it's like where you guys kind of like introduction ends. You guys kind of take over. So
Kick my bedroom door down.
Where's my shoe?
where's your shoe?
At the end of the bed. Well, dive over the end of the bed.
Get your war shoe.
Firing my shotgun, he's throwing his shit. We're actually in a mental.
Fucking double-barreled shoes.
But yeah, you can kind of you can hear this. You're in your room and you can just hear this sort of jingling noise, and this sort of like, as I say, sort of like ephemeral sort of singing distant. Yeah.
She's calling to me.
So what do you want to do?
Go back to sleep.
Wait. Oh. Melba said
Wake Melba.
yeah, she said she had something to show us, and she never showed us, did she? And I'm worried about her now.
So we
I
don't know
bet
where
you
the
are.
noise is originating from.
No, you can
We
just
know,
hear.
how, we know how this spooky shit works. It's always like this. There's always someone who's involved, and Melba sounds like a prime suspect right now.
You think she's a suspect? I
No,
think.
but like,
Wait, can we like identify where the noise is coming from?
no, that was the whole thing. We couldn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's kind of
fine.
just you can just hear this distant kind of like like
Can I like look out the bedroom door?
yeah, you can open the door.
The swing of an axe.
So
chops your
you
head.
you look out the door and the corridor is kind of like lit up, like not by direct light, not like the sort of the lamp lights
There's
are
no
all off.
source, but there's
But like it's coming from downstairs. It's kind of like a sort of bluish greenish kind of like sort of tint coming from downstairs, that's glowing and lighting up the corridor brighter than it should necessarily be at this time of night.
Run and jump off the banister. Land downstairs. No, I don't do that. I look over the banister.
Knack swings down.
Downstairs, you can see the sort of the table where you guys had the meal, but it's kind of like there's like light, like a sort of blue and green light coming in through the windows. It's kind of like really bright. And then like everything in the room is kind of like glistening and sparkling with like gold dust.
Melba, is that you? You're scaring me.
There's no response.
Oh, look, me and Kieran have got matching things. One sec. Yeah, best friends!
Really?
Adventure buddies!
So we started wearing them after we lost our good friend Emilio.
Pretorius has one too.
They're in his memory.
So what do you want to do?
I saw me and Kieran kiss them.
I didn't see that. I didn't.
Kieran saw me do it, and then he did it, and no one said anything.
I wasn't looking. I was looking away.
I guess are we going down? No, we are down. Sorry.
No, you're upstairs at the minute.
Looks down. So we're still upstairs. So we can either go down.
I'm gonna throw my shoe down.
We could either.
Do you want to roll to throw your shoe down?
Yeah, I
Okay.
need to roll for it.
Yeah.
Can I just drop it?
You've given up saying it's a boomerang.
Oh, no, I'm not using my boomerang.
Oh, right.
I'm just playing along with the shoe thing.
Go on, throw your war shoe then.
Do I have to actually throw it? Can I just drop it? Okay, let's try. Yeah.
Who are you aiming at?
I don't know. The floor.
Ah,
It's
okay.
gonna
I've forgotten how to roll.
The floor explodes.
Fucking hell. I just
Fucking hell.
fucking, like, swing it like
Yeah, so you sort of swing it around and it sort of batters off your head and.
fucking lace is still attached to me. Like,
Yeah. It's sort of you're like sort of hanging around, knocks you on the back of the head. No damage, but you're just like fucking.
Can I like hold him? Stop. Stop. Right. Right. We got to decide. We got
let's just go down.
Yeah, but we could go down, or we could wake Melba and find out what the fuck she knows.
I
She's-
don't
You
know.
really want to
Oh.
wake her up, don't you?
She,
He does.
she legitimately said, "I've got something to show you tonight." And unless that was some sort
Okay,
of
we
weird
can go check her
cousinly
room then, I
advance,
guess. Go knock
then-
on her door.
You go knock on Melba's door. There's no response, but the door's cold.
Can open it?
touch it, and the house goes, "Oh!" It's like a cold hand touching his back.
You open the door, and inside it's like everything is like frozen over, like everything, like the bed, the floor. There's no sign of Melba, but like the whole thing is like a frost.
Is this like the Frozen film?
It's not. Let it go.
I'll stop there.
So there's no. She's
Till
not
the end
here.
when I'm
There's
doing
no
my
one here.
stuff.
She's not in there now.
Right, I guess we're gonna go down the stairs then.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Do I have spot hidden?
Yeah, can we see anything?
I don't know if I have that
Just a
skill.
frozen statue.
I don't have that skill. I'll try it anyway.
Getting you shatter it by mistake.
Oops.
Frozen.
Yeah.
You see the atom.
You see footprints from the bed leaving out the doorway.
Can we see which direction they went, or just out the room?
The problem is once they reach the
Edge of the room, there's no footprints.
yeah, because it's the
Wouldn't
ice.
they leave like an icy trail behind?
Well,
Nah,
you'd have to
not
do
gonna make
you'd have to do a spot hidden on the hallway.
Okay. Spot hidden on the hall. We try and follow the footprints. Wouldn't it be a survival roll?
No, it's not
Oh,
D
can I
and
use tracking?
that's D&D for start with.
Wouldn't it be like isn't there a more relevant skill for this?
Tracking?
Yeah. Have you got
I
tracking?
don't know if
I
you
do
can
have
see something.
tracking.
I
Yeah, you've
think
got tracking. Track them footprints.
you've got to spot that
Did
hidden
I use that in
first.
this circumstance? I did in the bedroom, and I seen.
Yeah,
it.
now we're going to follow the footprints out.
All right.
That's the plan.
I'll let
Is that
her
what
decide.
Perrin? That makes more
yeah,
sense. Than
yeah,
another
if you want, yeah.
I bet you I filled the roll in.
Still a D100. It doesn't make a difference. It just
Oh, I
Nope.
did.
never mind.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can't, you fail to track where the footprints go from once they leave the bedroom.
We lost the prince. Right. Let's just head downstairs.
Yep.
I don't know how this house is laid out at all, but whatever. Downstairs we go.
All right. So you head downstairs, and like as I say, you get into like the main hall. As you could see from above, everything's kind of got this like sparkle, this kind of glow. Everything's a bit more like luminescent than it would have been previously. It certainly was during the daytime, and there's like this really strong light coming out from the windows. But it's weird because the light's kind of flooding in, but it's not like illuminating the house like daytime. It's just like creating this kind of like weird subtle glow on everything.
Okay.
Stand
you
in
tried.
the middle of the room.
So
I am Edward Cullen.
yeah. So as Russell stands in the middle of the room, he sort of he's like glowing and like, sparkling like Edward Cullen.
Majestic.
Yeah, you're majestic.
You wearing a cape, Kieran?
No?
Looks like you've got a cape on, like over your shoulder there.
Oh, it's a little.
No. It's just
Oh, now it looks like a cape. Yeah.
but-
I'm like, no, my turn.
So you take it in turn standing in the glowing light and reflecting the glory.
Do we
Take
still
a
hear
photo.
the? We still hear the. music?
It's down. It's loud down here. You can hear the sort of jingling and the weird singing like holidays are coming.
Cans of Coke everywhere. God, it's creepy.
Desmond on the front.
Driving it. Hi, I'm Desmond.
You don't know who I am yet, because I'm from the future.
So what do you want to do?
Keep exploring, I guess. It's hard to explore when we don't know the layout, really.
Yeah.
So let's investigate the table. Was it? I think was point of interest.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like how to describe it. It's like as you sort of if you run your hands across the table, it kind of like it doesn't feel as solid as it did before. It's not like your hand goes through it or anything.
Nope.
But it's kind of like it's soft.
Soft.
Yeah, it's like soft.
Got give.
It's got give. Yeah, not
Like a
much.
foam mattress.
It's not as much as a foam mattress, but just enough that it doesn't.
Doesn't feel like knock on wood.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like knock on wood. It's like, and I say it's sort of glowing in the light, and everything just seems a bit more.
It's like the contrast between your desk and your mouse mat.
Yeah, like a mouse mat kind of texture.
For the
to it.
viewers, you can try that right now if,
If
you're
you,
watching.
if you touch your mouse mat, that's kind of the feel
Yeah,
of touching
ugh,
this
this doesn't
table.
feel like
Depends
solid
what kind
wood.
of mouse mat you have.
Yeah, if you've got a solid mouse mat, don't
Does
bother.
it
Go home.
Right,
depend what
okay.
mouse mat you have?
I'm like trying to feel this thing, and it's like,
Solid wood.
no. It's like a cotton ball.
There's some viewers with those like anime mouse mats.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Like, oh, it feels like tits.
the-
Oh, I keep
Just-
squeezing that.
Oh, I know what they
table.
feel like, right? Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so the table doesn't feel quite normal. But nothing in the room. Everything in the room just feels a bit more. I don't know. As I say,
Mystical.
Christmassy.
holidays
Can I
are
like?
coming.
Wasn't there like a window that had like light coming in?
Yeah, there's a big light. There's a big window overlooking the dining room.
Oh right. Is it ground level? We can look out of it.
Yeah,
or is it, like...
you can look out of it, but the light's too blinding. It's too strong. Like if you look out, you can't really
Jesus.
you can't really
Truck's
see.
right there.
Yeah, like the headlights are right there. So it's like you can see this something outside, but you can't really make it out clearly because it's just too it's too bright.
Should we
Put
go
the window out.
You know what I've learned to do in this situation?
throw the boot through the window?
Hello.
Oh god.
So you shout hello to you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I
Well.
was pretending.
And you hear a voice come back, shout back, Russell, and it's a girl's voice. So don't get too excited. Ask you. And the front door opens, and Melba walks inside.
I run and hug Mel. What's going on?
Melba is wearing like this bright,
Elsa dress.
sorry, bright
Elsa
white
dress?
kind of like ball gown kind of thing.
What's going
like
on?
an Elsa dress.
I've got by the
Yeah.
shoulders. What's going on?
And she says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you guys were already here. I was just getting ready for your arrival."
Your
Tell her
room's
she
all
looks
icy.
pretty.
My
Says,
arrival.
Tell her
yeah.
she looks pretty, Uncle Frank. Uncle.
Shut up,
Theo.
Alf. Shut up, that creepy mansion.
Shut up, creepy imagine.
You can hear a voice in the distant.
I know. What's going on? Got by the shoulders.
She says,
I'm
she
not
says,
shaking her. I'm just
That's just my.
that's just me. That's just my. Yeah.
she says, yes, I've wanted to show you this. I knew with the adventures you guys have been on that you'd be able to enter the dreaming too.
Okay.
She says, come with me. There's someone you're gonna want to meet.
Nah, you're right.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah. All right. Okay.